I was reading this book about the history of alternative energy, and it's really funny to think about what would have happened if people hadn't responded in the 70s when they knew that when they first found out about the greenhouse gases and the climate effect. It's really it's incredible how different the world would have been if there would have not been cooperation of the energy companies, if they would have tried to suppress the technologies, which is perfectly possible because we see that in the commercial world all the time. Political parties and people trying to make the quickest buck, which yeah, it's quite clearly at that time it was fossil fuels to drive everything and to power everything. But these reports of the Jasons and that turned, let's say, the whole the whole mentality of the Americans towards cleaner fuel has been hugely beneficial. If you think about it, it's really maybe a little bit weird subject, but the Shell found out about the silicon cells, but they were very expensive. But then they found out that you can do it with solar power. You can use concentrated solar light to make the silicon cells. That's because most of the cost of these things is in the heat that you need to distill the silicon to its purity that you need. So that made them very cheap, and that's why we all have them now, of course. Why nobody bothers to though they're not very expensive, but they could have been very expensive if Shell would have wanted it. They could have just put the silicon patents in the closet and never, for the first, let's say, 10 or 15 years, never tried to produce anyone. And then, of course, they could have kept the whole solar heat use to make these silicon cells a secret, so that nobody even knew about it today. So easy to do that. Same with the ammonia fuel conversion. Of course, we don't use ammonia for most cars because most of them are electric. You had these. They described how they had these carbon police movies and scare tactics, which basically said, in the year 2000 you won't have a car because it will be too polluting. Well, of course we have cars. They are electric. So that was just, and it's very nice that all the politicians simply ran over that, because you can start screaming that you want to keep things the way they are. You can try to, if you're riding your car in the desert somewhere and you enjoy driving it, you can keep on driving until you're over one of these cliffs you have near the Grand Canyon. But it's not really smart to do that, and you might even be enjoying until you reach the ground, if you're crazy enough. But that's not a way to go about things, and it's really funny to read about that now. Anyway, I'll try to link to the book on Amazon if you try to read it. It's not very well